All right, everybody. Agent Jazz here. All right, I'll let you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Agent Jazz. Thank you so much for coming. It seems like a pretty good event. Y'all having a good time? Shout out to our event planner and host today. He did a remarkable job. So give him a round of applause. So we're just going to do a Q&A session. If you have questions about buying a home, selling a home, and even commercial, you can ask as well. So it'll be pretty interactive, but we'll try to get everything answered, and I'm happy to be here today. So I'm Agent Jazz. I cover the 757 and surrounding areas, so all of Hampton Roads. And it's just a pleasure to be here and to facilitate some of the questions that a lot of people usually have. So what's a question that you often hear about real estate when you're talking to friends and family?
I got you. Well, first off, I want to know, ask one of your great friends, what made you get into real estate in the first place?
Okay. So I was a stay-at-home mom for the first 18 months maybe with my kid. And I was like, I want to work, but I don't really want to have to clock in and be away from my kid. I want to be around her as much as possible. I want to be able to do school drop-offs and pickups. I want to do all the things. And so her dad was like, well, maybe real estate. I do mortgages, maybe real estate. And I was like, okay, whatever. I had no clue about real estate. I took the test, I passed, and then I got with the brokerage, and I was like, okay, all right. And that's when I started learning and doing all the things. But that's what made me get into it. I was like, I want to be a present mom, but also make some money so that I could give her the life that I think she deserves.
What areas in the 757 do you feel like are the most prosperous when it actually comes to, well, I guess like what equity and stuff, I guess like the value of a home and things of that nature, and what do you think that the kind of like the downfalls that you feel like they could like really fix in certain areas that would be more profitable, household? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So currently, downtown Newport News is on the rise, and I feel like with real estate, you do have to be patient. And so it's not a quick in and out game, it's a long-term game. And downtown Newport News in general is on the rise. So if you invest in downtown Newport News now, in a few years, 3 to 5 even, you're going to see a major increase in your equity. And that's money that you can borrow on. That's money that you can buy a new house with. That's money that you could just have in your pocket. That's money that you can do renovations with your house with. So downtown Newport News for sure. Suffolk is another great area that's on the rise. And they are having so many commercial developments, housing developments come up in Suffolk. And Suffolk is a really big area. Not only is it a big area, but it's a very neutral area, and it's a central area. So you're near Portsmouth, you're near Norfolk, you're near Newport News, you're near Hampton when you're in Suffolk. So it's an easy, even Isle of Wight, like it's so quick to get to Suffolk from those areas. So I think those are some of the top 2 up and coming good areas that you want to invest in now, and just hold your property, live in your property for a little bit. Anywhere in the 757 and the U.S. in general is a good place to rent. So even if maybe it's not a place you want to live, it's a good place where you can get somebody in there to rent easy. Places that could maybe use some work. I would say Virginia Beach. It's more of an established area, but you have those pockets where they could use people just coming in. And filling up those pockets. Maybe a lot of people want to live more so on the beach versus in different areas of Virginia Beach. So I think those could be areas where you could see more. You get in for a better price than you would when you think Virginia Beach. I think people think it's going to be super expensive, where there are areas that are pretty close to like Norfolk value areas in Virginia Beach. So spread your wings and go out. It's so many homes out here, honestly.
So I think that if I'm not mistaken, you were selling close to $1 million. I mean, that, like kind of like taking people to see them and stuff like that. It's what areas in Virginia like are those $1 million homes? And I know if you can't say, I understand. Was there any celebrities or people that you've kind of like shown homes to or anything like that, or stuff like that?
No celebrities just yet, but I think people will be surprised that $1 million homes are all over the 757 and not just in your areas like Virginia Beach. There are some really nice $1 million homes in Portsmouth. There's a really nice home on the market right now in Newport News, not too far from here, but it's a nice little drive. It's about 10 to 15 minutes away from here, and it's a very unique property. So $1 million homes are all over. I think that with the right real estate agent, you're going to find those investment properties and live in a lap of luxury, as we should say. But they're not just in Virginia Beach. So $1 million homes are over, especially even Buckrow Beach area. First View has some really nice properties on the water, I think, that people neglect to go out and see. Any questions in the audience while we're talking about real estate? Anybody got any real estate geared questions? Not yet? Okay. What you got?
Oh, I have another one for you, but real quick, just letting everybody know that Bill's class is getting ready to start if you're interested in this class for the martial arts and stunt and everything of that nature. He's across the hall, and he's right there, he's behind you. So if you're interested in this class, please see him in the back.
Black shirt.
In the black shirt. And question. I have one too. Here's something funny though. Okay, so what was the greatest house showing experience, whether you closed that day or something like that? And what was the strangest or weirdest house showing experience that you ever had?
Okay. The greatest house showing, but also one of my toughest, was the first deal I closed. And it took me a while to close my first deal. I had deals going, they would fall apart, military buyers, they end up moving mid-transaction. So many different things were happening. And so I was showing my buyers a house at an open house. We get to the house, they're like, we love it, this is the one for us. The husband, he is still today one of my funniest clients. He sits on the couch, he's like, I mean, other people can come in, but this is our house. And the agent is like, oh, well, go ahead and write the contract up right here. So I'm sitting in the house, I have a mentor at the time, and I'm like texting him under the table, and I'm like, hey, I need you to check this contract for me. And I'm writing it at the table, and he's just like laid out on the couch. Other people are coming. He's like, yeah, my agent's taking care of it for me. And the other agent is coming over, you doing all right over here? And I'm just like, writing this contract. And so it took me about an hour or so because I had to wait for my mentor's approval. But we ended up closing the house. It was a phenomenal first closed transaction. And it went well, but I was on the spot. And so I recently had an event those buyers came to, and I was like, you guys know you were my first deal? And they were like, we had no clue. You were awesome. And I was like, oh, thanks, great. That was the best one. The strangest, I think I was probably with them too, and we warn people when there are like animals in the house. Cool, it's a cat, it'll be roaming, it'll be hiding under the bed. If there's a dog, it'll be in the kennel, fine. It was a cat, and it was out, which was fine. But then it started following us around the house and like getting really close. And the same buyer, Steve, was like, Jazz, I think it's time for us to go. Like, it's like raising its back up. And I was like, all right, let's go. They ran out the house. And I was like, all right, it's time to go. But animals in the house, it could be okay. But that was like the craziest because like the cat started, at first it was cool, it was hiding. But then it started following us around the house and it like brushed past my leg. The wife was like, nah, she ran out. He was like, all right, Jazz, it's time to go. So we did not get that house.
Now, for somebody that is like starting from scratch, like what are the elements that you need? Like somebody that's, hey, that doubt themselves, like, hey, I have bad credit, or hey, I don't think this is going to be possible, or blah blah blah, and stuff like that. What's the first thing that you talk to them about, and do you like encourage them or try to help them move forward in their buying process and stuff like that?
One of the things they don't teach you in real estate school is that you are going to be kind of a therapist, but we have to encourage because it's a big transaction. It's one of the biggest transactions you'll probably make in your life, and that's nerve-wracking for not just some people but all people, whether you've bought a house or not before. And so I definitely do a lot of encouraging, but I think the first step is going to be talk to the real estate agent, talk to your lender, talk to the lender. We're not going to know where your credit is. Yes, you can go on Credit Karma and see what your credit score may be around, but that doesn't take you out the game. And so talk with the lender so we can see where you are, so we can make a plan, so we can make it real for you, and then we can get you on a track to buying the house instead of you thinking I'm so far away, or I'm thinking I'm so close and maybe you're farther away than you are. So that's my advice. And yes, I'm going to encourage you all the way through. Even if we go put an offer on a house and we don't get it, it wasn't the house for you. But your house is out there. So
I have two more, and that's gonna be it. So, I remember you guys mentioned about having to stop mid-transaction and stuff like that sometimes. And what's the frustrating element dealing with that? And like, was there ever a time that something looked like you wasn't gonna move forward with them, and then you were able to, do something to be able to get it back to where it needed to be and actually close?
it happens all the time. And I think that can be maybe a little scary for a buyer. Life comes with rejection. Life comes with obstacles and hard things. And even though it's the biggest transaction of your life, it's okay to have those roadblocks because we're going to learn from them. We're going to get better. And then we're going to have a great story to tell. They're going to happen, period. Every transaction is different. And I feel we are in like a technology and social media age where everybody's saying, oh, they got their house with no down payment. Oh, they got all their closing costs. Oh, they had such, you don't know what happened during their transaction to get them to the point where they're at. And so keep your expectations where your professionals tell you they should be. It's going to be a advice I give. A situation where we've literally lost it and got it back to a phenomenal point. I had a couple, married couple, the husband applied and his wife was actually retiring at the time, which was fine, but they didn't disclose that to the lender because they didn't think they had to. And so when we went to close the deal, we were literally at the final walkthrough and they're like, we don't have any updated or upcoming pay statements for the wife. And she's like, well, I'm retired. And so it's literally the day before closing, we lost that deal. And they had to go back in and just apply with the husband's financing. And he had student loans, so we went through Cavers, which is like a 30-day process to just get rid of your student loan debt and then apply with him. And so we lost that house, but we ended up being able to get him approved for $75K more on his purchase price, and they actually got to move into a brand new construction home in a well-established neighborhood. And so they have the best house on the block. We did have to wait 45 days to close, but we had that struggle, but it came back to being something even greater, and they stuck it out and did what they needed to do. So that'll be yes, it was looking a little crazy, but we ended up closing in the end.
And the last one is a double hitter. The last one. So first part of my question is, what's a myth that you feel like you want to break, or it's like something like, or a nugget that people don't know about as far as when it comes to buying a home and things of that nature? And what do you see yourself 3 to 5 years with the real estate game?
A myth? I'll give two. One, you do not need 20% down to buy a house. It's usually 3.5%. If you're military, it's 0% down. but you're usually around that 3 to 3.5% to purchase a home. 20% is if you don't want private mortgage insurance, and if you want maybe a lesser payment monthly mortgage wise, but it's okay if you don't have 20% down, truly. You don't need that much money. And that, I think that puts people in a fear mindset, like I'm never gonna get there, when that's not true at all. The other nugget was, or a myth that I like to bust, is that with grants, you don't just automatically qualify for grants. You do still have to apply for them, and you want to apply for your grant before you go under contract for a house. Because a lot of grant programs won't take you after you've already gotten under contract for a house. Grants take a little time on their end to process. And so if you're already under contract, but the grant needs 45 days to close, but you're under contract for 30 days, they can't rush their process to help you get that money. And yes, it could be a great amount of money, but you're gonna miss out if you don't be proactive with getting your grant. So that's a myth that I would like to bust. Like, don't wait to apply for the grants and look into the grants, because they're out there. You can apply and you can possibly get approved for them, but you have to do it, be proactive about it. And so contact your realtor to get into those grant programs and see what's out there that you might qualify for. And where do I see myself in 3 to 5 years? Still helping people, honestly. Like, that's what I like to do. That's the name of my game. What I like to do is help people, encourage people, let them know that it's not impossible and that it's all something that you can do. And I think maybe just doing more commercial deals as well. So I got a few lined up, but just more commercial deals, helping business owners know that it's not impossible for them to have a space either. And of course, homeowners, letting them know as well.
Gotcha.
I appreciate that. Yes, you've been really great. She's going to be here for a little bit, and she has some information and stuff like that, like little booklets, and you said pamphlets and business cards and stuff like that. Any other questions or anything like that for Agent Jazz?
I do have one.
Oh.
About the first time home buyers, how does that go to coincide with getting grants? How much usually grants be?
So just because, that's a myth, just because you're a first time home buyer does not mean you automatically qualify for a grant. It depends on your income, it depends on your credit score, and it depends on your household size for most of those grants. So a lot of people may qualify for them if they have more people in their household, because your grant usually goes off of the area median income. So the average of what people are making, and then only 80% of that, not even 100%. So it feels like those income limits are kind of low. And so you're like, dang, I make more than that, but I could use $10,000, $15,000. And so that's kind of where myth or misconception comes into play. But there are some great programs out there that are grants that lenders have. So first time home buyer or not, you can get into your house with $0 down, and they'll just put that money into another loan. Instead of you having to bring 15, 10K to the closing table, they'll put it into your loan amount, and then that's just what you pay on the monthly. So you don't have to bring that money up front at the deal.
So basically, you want to put it back.
But there are programs out there. You just want to go talk to your lender first and see what you apply for, and then talk to your realtor and see what kind of programs are out there that the lender might not have.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, any other questions?
Alrighty, I appreciate you, Agent Jazz. You'll be around for a little bit, so. And I have Mr. DJ over here, you know what I'm saying, play some tunes and stuff like that. We'll keep things going. But appreciate y'all. SpectacularCon, yeah.